name is Bishan. On the other side, we got my brother Harry. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. I'm good. Good to be finally back.
What episode is this?
Episode 19.
Oof,
We've been
man.
struggling. We've been struggling with episode 19. I think we've done like 3 drafts of episode 19.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple different things going on. I think, we shot a few of them. They just didn't take very well. I think it was just errors on our side. And then other than that, I think life's just busy. My bad. We were beefing for a while too, though. So,
Lots of beef,
yeah.
like Netflix
We know
beef.
whose fault that was too.
Yeah. There's 2 sides to a story.
Yeah.
Always 2
There's
sides to a story.
only one side. Okay, guys, only one side. I'll let
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
later on in the comments. Get at me.
Okay. Well, we missed a whole NFL season.
Yeah, we did. It was a fun one. So let's get into it. A
We
little bit.
missed it, but we're going to talk about it right now.
Yeah, we hope everyone's doing well, and those of you who've stuck with us, we appreciate it. Those of you who are first time guys,
Mhm.
please like and subscribe at any point. I really appreciate you guys watching. This was a very up and down season, not just for us, but for a lot of teams out there. Us as Bay Area San Francisco 49er fans, we saw a lot. But definitely, I think something that we need to get into right away is what we just saw this past weekend. Anything that stood out to you from championship weekend that you wanna talk about?
Yeah. I think Sean Payton really dropped the ball.
Okay.
He had an opportunity to take points, right? He got an opportunity. I think it was in the first half, I believe.
Yeah,
They get a
yeah. It was.
turnover. They start driving down the field. He goes for it on 4th and 1 with his backup quarterback, not Bo Nix, his backup quarterback. Yes, they got dealt a bad card, but you
Yeah,
do not ever, ever in a championship game against a really, really tough defense go for it on 4th and 1.
yeah.
You take the points. You take the points. You always take the points.
Yeah, I think, I didn't really get to watch the game, so, I have a different perspective on it than you do, because you were watching everything in real time. Myself going back and seeing the highlights, uh, you know, I thought to myself, if they knew that the storm was coming, literally and figuratively, you got to put the points on the board. Having a backup quarterback out there, you got to give him some confidence. You got to give him something to work on.
You know what's wild is the weather's going to be bad.
Yeah,
Snow
you
is
gotta
coming.
know, man.
You're not going to be able to throw the ball, let alone do it with your backup quarterback.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to take the points.
You
The
got
opportunity's there.
yeah. It's there for the taking. I mean, that's just one of those things. It's a given. But, that being said, I honest to God think like, there's America's team, and I think the Patriots are God's team. I have no idea. I think God is a Patriots fan, to be honest with you. They have 1 year or 2 years out where they don't do much, and then they draft, a guy, and now he's in his 2nd year, Drake May, and, hey, let's just go get Vrabel, Why not? Because the amazing Tennessee Titans, look how great you are so far after losing him, and look what Derrick Henry's done too. Yeah, Tennessee, great job, guys. Woo! Clap it up. Clap it up. You guys are the ones that are to blame for this, Tennessee. But man,
Isn't it
they
crazy that draft
oh,
with Drake May? You had Caleb Williams, you had Jaden Daniels, you had Bo
yeah,
Nix,
yeah.
and you had Drake May. I don't know. Am I missing someone? Probably missing someone.
So, taking a look at that draft right now in this moment in time, just because those guys were such high picks, it rivals the draft of years prior. That was Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, and who can forget, the two-time MVP winner in Lamar Jackson. So, that's crazy in itself. Those drafts are eerily similar as far as, where the guys were slated, where they were taken, and the success they've had thus far. But the only one out of that previous draft class to make it to a Super Bowl, and how many MVPs were there? Lamar, Josh Allen, Baker was the number 1 pick. Was it the New York Jets that took Sam Darnold? Jets fans, you must be kicking yourselves right now. And
I
Sam
mean,
Darnold,
aren't they doing that every season? Like literally season at the beginning of the season. I don't even dare be hopeful anymore. It's every year they suck.
Greenberg is always Mike Greenberg. But
Who thinks
Sam,
worse, being a Browns fan or a Jets fan?
I would say being a Jets fan because there's another team in your market that it has pretty much the whole fan base, I think, and you have no hope year in and year out. At least Cleveland, it's the only team in their market, so they still have people that show up. Uh, Sam Darnold, first quarterback from USC to lead his team to a Super Bowl. Think of that for a second. All the great quarterbacks that we've grown up watching, and he's on his fifth team. Pretty unbelievable story, man. Any thoughts on Sam Darnold?
He was the backup quarterback for the 49ers, and that obviously, I mean, he played one game. I think it was against the Ravens, came in at the end, and he scored a
Yeah,
touchdown, interception, whatever it was. Didn't think too much of him, to be honest. I didn't know he was going to set like a sort of like a Shanahan sort of quarterback school that gets backup quarterbacks like massive contracts like Mac Jones is about to get,
yeah,
right? But yeah, I'm actually surprised how successful he has been with the Seahawks. But yeah, it's you know, but the Seahawks are obviously they're a defensive team. He's more of a game manager. He does have a really good receiver, but yeah,
yeah. I'm not surprised because last year, seeing what he'd done with Minnesota and leading them so far, it was very difficult. He was in a tough division, so it was hard for them to get a good seed in the playoffs, and losing to the Rams. So I'm sure he had it out for them this year when it came to the playoffs. But that defense, man, under McDonald, honest to God, that guy, he's different. Being a 49ers fan, you're kind of born or bred to hate, Seattle, Los Angeles, and Arizona. Arizona, you can't even hate them because they're just so bad. But Los Angeles and Seattle, I can't, my hat's off to their coaching staff, especially their head coach, for getting that defense where they are right now. John Schneider, he moved on from Pete Carroll, who's, on the brink of being a Hall of Fame coach, for his contributions in college as well as the NFL. But for him to move on and bring someone as an unproven coach for his first time being a head coach, I just think he's probably executive of the year for that for sure. And that team is just, man, they play for each other. It's unbelievable. There's no divas on that team. I haven't seen it yet. There's no like outliers. These guys are just in sync, and I haven't seen a team that good in quite some time.
yeah, they're pretty good. You got the Patriots though, right? Who are not the favorites going into the Super Bowl. Like
Yeah,
all the odds are stacked against them. It's going to be tough, but one thing they've done is they played the best defenses, number
sure.
one and number two in the playoffs.
Y-
And now they're playing against the number 5 defense in the Seahawks. So people
Yeah.
aren't giving them a betting chance, but I would put my money on the Patriots.
Yeah, yeah. And just kind of looking back at the year, of course, you look at strength of schedule and everybody's going to make a big deal out of strength of schedule. But that being said, you still got to win the games that you win. We've seen some crazy things. The Packers were, I think, a 2 touchdown favorite this year going into Cleveland, and they lost that game. Now the Justice Department was looking into that because of betting and all that stuff. You're not any game, anything can happen, right? Just because you have a really low strength of schedule, that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to win those games. So the Patriots are there for a reason because they made the plays when they needed to make them in a blizzard against a really, really good Denver team with a backup quarterback that, I think if it was still a fair day, I mean, if the snowstorm hadn't come through, I think Denver had a better chance to go to the Super Bowl because both teams weren't making the plays when they needed to make them. But if you look
It's
back
not
on
like
it,
it's not cold in New England.
no, no, that's not what I'm saying. Is when you look back on it, the amount of scoring possible drives that Denver had as opposed to New England, Denver had more. They missed more field goals. So if it's a clear day, you would think that Denver, would come out with the points. I mean, they lost 10-7, right? So anything's given. But in those instances, I always take the home team. It's very hard to lose a championship game at home because the crowd is just unbelievable behind you.
I feel like if the Rams had, down the line in the fourth quarter and went for the field goal with like 5 minutes left, and then
Yeah,
they could have easily driven the ball down the field and got another field goal to win it. But then they ended up going for it, trying to, thinking they might not get the ball back. Obviously, that was a mistake. And I don't mean to just jump into the Rams game, but I just got me thinking about that holding play that happened towards the end, and that what got them the first down.
yeah. I mean, there's a play here and there that, you just wish you could take back or a scoring drive you wish you could, change.
But the refs getting involved, towards the end, it's like I
It's
know they're
I
ticky tack.
I you hear that a lot. You hear with the Cooper Cup catch, and coulda, woulda, shoulda. Maybe if Puka got out of bounds, with the couple seconds left, and they get a Hail Mary. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Patriots Seahawks.
Oh, that was an insane catch. Like,
It was.
I
It
mean,
was.
it was out of bounds, but that was an insane
I mean,
catch.
there was that catch. There was the JSN catch from a no look pass from Sam Darnold. Like, goodness me, it was insane. But
But I'm actually listen on the topic of Puka real quick. Is he going to be the highest paid receiver in the NFL here shortly?
I mean, he's going to be up for extension prior to guys like JSN because he was drafted in the 5th round. So I believe next year is his last year under contract, and they don't have a 5th-year option with him. The only guys you can have as a 5th-year option are guys that you've taken in the 1st round. So there's a strong possibility.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, he'll be the highest paid for a day because what's going to happen? A guy like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, the day after they're going to be like, rework my deal. You know,
Dude,
so
what do you think about Stafford? He's approaching 40, and he's in his.
uh,
I mean, he had an MVP season. Let's give him that. But his body is gone through fair share of injuries, and it's been tough for him to stay on the field at times. Even though this year he was pretty consistent. I mean, do you think there's an opportunity there for them to potentially bring in a Joe Burrow if Joe is not so happy in Cincinnati?
well, I'm going to tell you one thing. I don't think that Stafford retires this year. The sole reasoning being, um, because they went extremely far this year. He is the MVP of the league. And sorry, this isn't sole reason. There's like 3 reasons. Super Bowl 61's in SoFi Stadium. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure, fine. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason to keep going. Obviously, I wouldn't expect him to retire next year. But if, like, for whatever reason, Joe Burrow's available, like, do you like not try and make a push if you're the Rams to try and
Yeah.
secure the next 5-6 years, right? Because I mean,
Yeah. That's uh that's a definite possibility. I mean, yeah, you're setting yourself up for the future. There's no way that Stafford would be packaged in a deal. Stafford would outright retire. In my opinion, I think he would outright retire rather than go play somewhere else. But
I mean,
that's just
the package alone, if you just think about a trading for a Joe Burrow, would be huge.
well, the Rams have 2 first-round picks this year, so they have the Falcons pick because the genius Falcons decided, oh, well, let's jump back in the draft. We're gonna have a great year this year. Where'd you go? Fired your coach. Hired a coach that never wins. Okay, whatever. But let's jump in. I mean, I want to talk a little bit about the coaches, man. With something that
Yeah,
happened today, we've been talking about it for a little while.
yeah.
One of the weirdest head coaching signings I've ever seen with Monken coming over from Baltimore to coach the Cleveland Browns. The only reason I paid attention to this signing is because Jim Schwartz is, I think, in my opinion, other than Robert Saleh, the best defensive coach in the league. And he was slated to interview for that position with Cleveland, didn't get the job, got passed over once again, and now he wants out. So as a Niner fan, what do you do? What do you think?
I mean, as a Niner fan, you don't want to just promote the guy, right? We've seen how that ends up.
Of course,
Right.
of course.
I don't even remember the defensive coordinator's name at this point. I
Nick
know
Sorensen.
Nick Sorensen. I don't think I want to remember that name, to be honest. Bland Nick Sorensen. Yeah, Jim Schwartz. If Kyle and John have learned from their mistakes, especially Kyle, because he'll probably be calling the shots here in regards to which coach comes in, you got to get somebody experienced. Kyle Shanahan's going to focus on the offense, and he needs somebody to come in that can just take over the defense, and he doesn't have to like focus on it. Like he can just go and do his job. And I think that's what Saleh did. That's why they paid Saleh the big bucks, right?
Yeah, he was the highest paid defense coordinator in the league last year for a reason, and that's where Jim Schwartz needs to be too.
Exactly, 100%. I mean, I
Done
think I
deal.
watched a clip over on X earlier about Kyle Shanahan talking about his time early on facing Jim Schwartz's defense, and that's where he first encountered the wide nine, and or at least Jim Schwartz's version of the wide nine. And this is the defense that Kyle decided when that day he becomes the head coach, he's going to bring in. He's going to bring that philosophy in, and that's what he did. I mean, obviously with Saleh now departing, becoming a head coach of the Tennessee Titans, now Jim Schwartz, he's available. You got to go get him. There's
I'm
no, I mean, there's the competition in the NFC West is the better than it's ever been. I mean, think about it. Like the 4 teams playing for the NFC Championship, were 3 of them were in the NFC West. Come on, how are you going to compete against the Seahawks? How are you going to compete against the Rams? Sorry, go on.
I'm gonna have this take right now, and this is it's January the 28th, 3:51 p.m. 2026. Jim Schwartz will be the next defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. Mark it down, check it off. That's my take, 100%. I think having Gus Bradley on the staff is great. Assistant coach, helping with the defense.
Is Gus going to stick around? Then he's going to jump ship and go hang out with Robert.
I mean, there's a possibility. There's definitely a possibility. Robert was coaching, I think, under Gus in Jacksonville. So I think, that familiarity that they have together, there's a possibility. But, Gus also knows that, he's getting a lot of looks. He's not getting a ton of looks, but, where he's at right now and the team that he's on, there's more possibilities. You don't want to hitch your wagon to someone who's new again, right, with Tennessee. So, the Niners are proven winners. A lot of the staff has been out there interviewing for jobs, offensive coordinators, defense coordinators, our head office staff, scouts, everybody. So that's a proven place. If you want to move up, if you want to do something more, San Francisco is where you want to be, not Tennessee. So that's it. Jim Schwartz, I think he's the guy, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I'd love to have Jim Schwartz as
Miles Garrett follows.
Oh, yeah,
let's
go,
baby.
That's not going to happen. You got to throw Bosa in that.
Let's go.
So the other thing I think it's not talked about as much is the offensive coordinator situation with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's still a vacant job. They fired their offensive coordinator 2 weeks ago. They've been interviewing. Some people have been saying that the Mike McDaniel came in, interviewed, pulled his name out of there because he doesn't want to work with Jalen Hurts. And Tom, now I'm blanking on the name. Who was the head coach of the New York Giants? Gable? Was it Gable?
No, Dabble.
That's right. I apologize. Dabble, he also interviewed for the role, and he also took a different job.
Yeah.
Do you think there's something there? If you had to guess, like, what's your take?
Personally, I just think that they haven't had an offensive coordinator in consecutive years in, I think, the last 5. So it's such a volatile position. And like I said, when you got coaches that are on the hot seat, you want stability. Jim Harbaugh is building something in Los Angeles, and he just has a certain tenacity, and he has a young team that people want to play for. The Philadelphia Eagles had so much turmoil this year that spilled onto the actual field, I think the only type of guy that they bring in is someone that is an up and coming guy. I don't think they're going to get a big name to fill that position because there's a lot of people and a lot of divas on that team that you got to contest with. And no, I just don't see it. Honestly, I think it's if you had to pick, would you rather go to a place like Los Angeles where the staff's built out? You know, you have Herbert under contract. They're constantly putting money into the offensive line. You have a first year running back who was drafted extremely high.
Okay,
You have some,
okay, okay, okay. I get it. Answer this. Shady McCoy, right? Right after that playoff game against 49ers, apparently he was fed some information, says people in the Eagles organization tell me that they can't do different exotic looks, different formations, different motions, because I'm
yeah.
hearing that Jalen Hurts can't really do it.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard that too. I did see him talk about that. That really doesn't make too
This
much
is
sense to me
he
because
won a
if
Super Bowl. He
yeah,
won a Super Bowl.
if you're a if and you're an NFL quarterback, you can't just run one system. That just doesn't make any sense. He's played at some of the most prestigious programs in college football. I mean, played at Alabama, went to Oklahoma. There's two different minds there, in both of those places. He played under, I believe, Kiffin and Sark in Alabama. Then he had, his coach who moved over to USC over in Oklahoma. So, yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense. Somebody that's not in the facility, man. You can't. I can't listen to that kind of stuff, man. I don't.
Shady's a clickbait guy though,
Yeah,
right?
he'll say shit like that, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't why are we talking about the Eagles, bro? Like, I don't even know why we beat them. That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I know, but
That's it.
we don't
Let's
want
go.
to. A lot of Eagles fans
Let's get
think
that.
that this
Let's
was
get
the
that.
49ers
Let's
Super Bowl for
yeah.
winning them.
So,
Uh,
speaking of the 49ers, man, really, really, I'm proud of the guys this year just because of man, that team. I think we're on our sixth and seventh linebackers. As far as the defensive, line goes, man, at the end of the year, these guys were gassed.
Brock
They put
Purdy played like half the season.
with the toe injury that still they said might need surgery, but now they're not going to do it. It's
Bosa was
just
out the entire year,
Bosa was out.
practically.
Michael Williams playing in the Meadowland. God, MetLife Stadium, worst
Yeah,
stadium in the league.
worst.
Um, and I just I can't say anything bad about the team because they weren't supposed to be where they were. They were in the divisional round of the playoffs after beating the defending Super Bowl champions. I'll say that again, beating the defending Super Bowl champions in the playoffs and knocking them out, which is no easy feat. If anybody's ever been to Philadelphia before, and I'm sure some of you out there have, those fans are relentless. They will their team to win, and they almost did. That end of that game, they were driving down the field, and the Niners just made one extra play because the Eagles kept running the same exact play over and over again.
You know what's funny about the Philadelphia media? It's like literally whether they're winning a ton or they're losing, it doesn't matter. They're just not happy.
They're
They're just
never
never
happy.
happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the time where there was that homeless guy sitting outside Whole Foods? I got him a couple slices of pizza and a water, and I took it over to him. He was like, "I don't want that shit." And I was like, "Whoa, okay, all right, cool, 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 cool."
I do remember that.
And
That was right
after
next
that,
to
I
Angelo's,
was
down the street from Angelo's.
like, you know what? Hey, I'm good. I tried, and you told me, you're like, this is Philadelphia for you. Philadelphia has some of the most hardcore people, and there are some really, really great people in Philadelphia that I've gotten to meet over the years. Man, when it comes to their sports teams, it's like it's a night and day difference, man. They like after 5 o'clock, I don't even know what's going on over there, man. They're different. So, the Niners did great. They got past them, but they, went up against a buzzsaw in
Yeah.
Seattle. So,
Seattle's
your
yeah.
thoughts on this year, man? What's your takeaways? What are you feeling?
I mean, I think I'm proud of them as well.
Yeah.
They did a lot with as little as possible. I mean, it was a lot of great coaching, offensively, defensively, special teams. It took all facets of the entire game for them to be successful. There were some really big wins. I thought the best game of the year was against the Rams, went into LA,
Yeah.
epic battle, took it into overtime,
And that was a
and
Mac
then
Jones game.
yeah, and then
That was Mac
Collins
that was
just
Mac Jones game.
it was Mac Jones' game. I think it
Yeah,
was a Collins
yeah,
game. He came in and punched
yeah,
that ball out. I thought it was over. I thought he was going to walk in. You watch that
yeah.
replay. He was walking in, and then he ran into Alfred Collins. And you run into Alfred Collins, and
That's a
he
unit.
well, yeah. I think Kyron Williams is. I think he still has some sleepless nights because of that. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think it was a good year. I think it's going to set the 49ers up for next year. It'll
yeah.
be interesting. You know what I'm actually really interested to see now with all the amount of injuries they've had to deal with is that substation theory, the electrical substation, to
To be
see
honest,
if that actually is good. I don't know what kind of studies they're going to have to do or whatever,
honest to
but
God, man, that thing kind of pisses me off now. Even if there's any remote truth to it, I'm pissed. Like
well,
it's
also, do you know where the Super Bowl teams, the Patriots and the Seahawks are practicing, right?
it's the Patriots are practicing in Stanford, the Cardinal Stadium.
And the Seahawks are practicing in San Jose State, I think. Yeah.
Oh, they're not gonna use the 49ers facility?
No one's using the 49ers facility.
You know
So,
what these crazy theories that I've heard is the Niners have to get a new stadium. Like that's how far out this stuff it goes. So, if I was a big developer out there somewhere in the Bay Area, start finding a place, baby. Let's build that new Candlestick Park. Let's go.
yeah, I'd love it if they had an opportunity to go back to San Francisco, right? But there's like the land out here is just too expensive and
It's ridiculous.
it
It's
would just
ridiculous.
it'd be I don't know. I mean, they just built Levi's. It's going to be
I hope
tough.
I really do hope that they figure this thing out because those guys don't deserve to have this over their heads, hovering over their heads. They are world class athletes who have families, and health is number one. And I think the 49ers really do believe that. They're just not one of these clubs or franchises that just, doesn't care, a la Cleveland. But, let's see what happens. I really hope they start this thing now, get this thing going, and whoever owns the substation, maybe you're like, hey, y'all want to buy us out,
The
or
city or the county or
this,
whatever, they're not
yeah,
gonna. It's not like it's privately owned. It's like
yeah. So
PG&E.
I don't
I
know.
don't
I
know.
have no idea what they can do there, but just having that question looming is tough. Really is. I do really want to just take a second to talk about the guys that stepped up this year in the midst of all the injuries. Our defensive line with Alfred Collins and CJ West, man, you
Well,
guys.
CJ West came on like towards the end of the year, right?
Yeah,
But he's
they did, but they still they held it down, man. They held it down. In your rookie season, you're not supposed to be asked to do those types of things, especially if you're not a first round pick, right? But the Niners defense all over the board, man. Up and stout too, just came in and just was everywhere, man. It was a ball hawk. Yeah, we got some places that we need to improve on, but man, this last year's draft, I just got to say, every single one of the guys that was able to contribute, and you guys did it. It was awesome. It was awesome to see that, and I can't wait to see you guys in year two.
yeah, definitely. At everyone that I feel like we really would have seen his best, and it was starting to really take shape was Michael Williams, and then he gets injured.
Yeah, yeah,
It's unfortunate, but I think he said from the reports that I've read, he should be ready to go for training camp.
yeah.
Um,
I
Definitely
mean,
the start of the season. So
you
yeah,
just you just kind of start naming off the guys that let's, hey, knock on wood, God be good to us, please. These guys, if they're ready for opening day, that team on paper itself, like we're not even talking about the offense. Let's just talk about the defense, right? In and itself, these guys that were rookies that were meant to play, they got all that experience. They're going to go into another year, another off season, and they're just going to be able to get it, and then they're going to have their support. It's like the Spartan movie, the 300, right? A lot of the guys, they were battling, battling, battling. There's a couple guys left, and then the rest of the force comes through. It's like that's who's coming back, baby. They're coming. So it's gonna be dope.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm excited about the draft. I'm excited about training camp.
Yeah,
Potentially seeing who this defensive coordinator is. Hopefully it's, Schwartz. We'll see.
yeah, Ju-
There's just
no,
so much to look forward to now. It
yeah,
was a really good season. I think even like I wasn't like usually I'm devastated when the 49ers lose. I'm really just pissed off. But
sure,
um I think this is like probably the first time where I was like,
optimistic.
yeah,
Yeah,
this is gonna
yeah,
work out. Things are gonna be okay. We're gonna be
yeah.
okay.
I think you hit it on the head right there. I think for sure, man. But one thing I'll tell you is I think you got to make sure you watch out for trades because the Niners had an opportunity to trade for guys during the trade deadline. They were kind of teetering,
I know.
and they didn't make a big time trade, which, you know, looking back on it, yeah, it's probably a mistake, but you got to also think about they didn't mortgage anything, right? So they still have all those picks. They have, a later pick this year, but let's say they want to package that in to get a proven guy right now, a right now winner. You got guys out there like Justin Jefferson, you got, different defensive guys.
Jefferson's going to cost too much. I would not even think about going after Jefferson unless somehow they want Brandon Ayuk right in return. And
You know what? A guy that I think is getting a lot of flack, but he shouldn't because I think he just got thrown underneath the bus even by his ownership is Keon Coleman. Tiger wish he could. You know what I'm saying? He's
no, no, they need speed. I mean, I think when it showed up in the Seahawks game, they literally they couldn't get any separation.
yeah.
The 49ers are like dead last in wide receiver separation.
Yeah, but that's where
And
Brock Purdy plays with timing. Brock Purdy's a timing quarterback. You don't need all the separation that you're talking about. When he has timing with his
yeah, but if
guys,
they're playing man-to-man coverage and you can't even like, put on a move and like get some separation because you're just slow, like John Jennings, who doesn't. I mean, I don't know, what do you run a 4.7 in the 40 time? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, John Jennings is great. He's very much the 49ers Heinz Ward. And I hope they bring him back. But yeah, I think
yeah.
they're going to need a lot of
And you
speed.
think about this. At one time, the 49ers wide receiving core, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall. Four guys. They were on the squad last year. No, and other than Ricky Pearsall, none of them will be on the team next year, or
Ricky
at least under
Pearsall's not.
contract.
Ricky Pearsall's not on the team. How many games did he play?
Last year, he played. I want to say he played like in 6, maybe 8,
Shanahan said barely 4,
possibly.
and it's true. I mean, he's he's a bit fragile, right? I mean, I don't know if you can depend on him next season. So I think the
Yeah,
49ers are going to have to really, whether it's via trade or free agency or the draft, they're going to have to beef up that position because Kittle's going to be out pretty much the whole year. I mean, maybe you get him back towards like week 12 and beyond if you're lucky, and then you got Juwan Jennings potentially gone. I mean, there's just and you got two receivers that you drafted, one last year, two rookies, and the one before that. I don't even remember their names because I don't need to remember their names because they didn't even play this year, to
yeah.
be honest.
So
And that's the problem with the 49ers. It's like Shanahan's he's got to play these guys too. And I don't
yeah,
know, maybe, and Shanahan also doesn't trust
I
Shanahan
I
doesn't trust his rookies.
I think the Niners really need to shift their focus from a Chris McCaffrey happy offense and change it up, right? I think that's a big thing.
I mean, backup running back. That's another thing. Like you think for once that if CMC has a year like he had this year, he can play another season? I don't think so. I think he's going to have to retire. This was
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. He was the whole team.
He also looks slower. I don't know if you caught that, but looks like he lost half a step.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
Or maybe his offensive line wasn't that good, and that's the other thing. Like I mean, the Niners played well. They were coached well,
Yeah,
but I think there's a lot of things that need to improve for them to take that next, to take it to the next level and play on the same platform with the Seahawks and the Rams and even I guess the Patriots.
yeah. All right. With that, I think we're episode 19 is in the books for us.
Yeah, what do you want to
Um,
talk about next week though? Is there something big next week? I think there is. Maybe.
The AFC NFC flag football game. Oh yeah, let's go, baby.
Oh, you know who's playing in that? Shadur
Yeah,
Sanders.
yeah,
That's nuts.
that's something we'll be talking about a little bit more of next week, guys. Those of you again who like and subscribe us, we appreciate you a ton. We're on every single platform you can think of. My
When we're
brother,
recording. When we're recording.
when we're recording, and this one was, I think, oh man, this has been like 3-4 months, I think. Apologies there, but we're going to do
Yeah.
our best to stay consistent and not beef with each other any longer.
Mm-hmm.
Please, Harry,
I
you know,
mean, we're gonna be here for, you know, at least the off season, right? The free agency, the draft. We'll be here for all the NFL stuff. Training camp when training camp hits, and obviously the NBA stuff, UFC. There's so much still going on. And yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna be here for it and we're gonna be able to share it with everyone. So exciting times ahead.
let's go. Well, appreciate you guys signing off again. Take care. Appreciate you all.
All right, cool.